and welcome to Alpha Militaria TV. Thanks very much for tuning in once again and seeing what we're up to. My name is Richard Saunders. Now, it doesn't seem like many months go by without a new airgun company coming out of the woodwork somewhere in the world. But most of those companies at the moment, at least, seem to be coming out of Central Europe, Turkey, that kind of region. This rifle, which is completely brand new, and this is a pre-production rifle, comes from Macavity Arms, which is a new company based in California in the USA. They were only formed in 2023, and this rifle, their launch rifle, which is called the Macavity Agility 2 or MA2, was released or announced to the world at the SHOT Show in Las Vegas. The plan is, as I understand, for it to go on sale in the US this spring, and then in the summer a 12 foot-pound version will be available in the UK and other parts of Europe. So this is, being a US gun, this is a 30 foot-pound 2.2 model. As I say, this will come into the UK, it's a 12 foot-pound model, so specs might change a little bit. Again, this is pre-production, so they might change from this as well, but I don't think it will change a huge amount. And the FAC rifle, or the US rifle, has features such as an internally adjustable regulator, hammer spring adjustment as well. Now, I would imagine that for the UK market, those features would not be available for obvious reasons. Now, the price. So the Macavity Arms hasn't yet announced a UK distributor, but from talking to the manufacturer, they are talking about this rifle being available for around about £500 in the UK, which makes it fantastic value for money. Not only because it comes with a silencer and 3 magazines, but also, as I said before, it's a fully regulated rifle. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll take a look from the rifle from back to front, and we talk about the key features, zoom in on those key features, talk about the whole magazine system and air filling system as well. Then we'll take it down to Reading Air Target Shooting Club, put a few pellets in it and see how it shoots. You don't need me to tell you that Macavity Arms has gone very much for this tactical look, where there's lots of black polymer, good quality black polymer, and not much in the way of stock. Now, as a result of that, because you don't have a huge amount of fore-end down here, the rifle looks very long. And when I first got out of the box, I thought, my God, yeah, it's like as long as a test match, this rifle. But in actual fact, it's a bit deceiving because the overall length measures from 40 to 44 inches, which is actually pretty compact. And the reason for that variance is that you have this sliding buttstock at the back here. And in terms of weight, this rifle weighs around about 7 pounds, 3.2 kilos unscoped. So all in all, it's actually very light and very compact too. Now, starting at the back, you get this AR-15 adjustable stock, which moves up and down a range of about 4 inches. Now, as I said before, this is a pre-production rifle, so some of the components on this, I'm sure, will be tweaked prior to its shipping, and I'm pretty sure that this buttstock will be one of those components because it's a little bit loose, and this catch here is a little bit floppy as well. So I'm sure that will be addressed in the shipping version to make that a little bit tighter, a little bit more effective. Now, having said that, it does give you very good eye relief to a scope. If you're using a zero eye relief compact scope, you can shorten this right up and get really close. If you're using a large scope like this one here, then you can pull it right back and still get good eye relief. And the shape of the butt pad is very comfortable too. It's ambidextrous, so it suits left and right handers. Has a kind of a slope down here, which makes it very comfortable for you to put up to your face. There's no height adjustment on the stock, but that combination of the forward and back adjustment and the comfort factor meant that I found this a very easy rifle to shoulder, and as I say, good eye relief and good eye alignment down the scope as well. The pistol grip is another AR-15 style pistol grip, so interchangeable with aftermarket versions. This is pretty good though. It's slightly sort of rubberized, has lots of fine pimples on it to give you good grip. There's some contours in the front here, but other than that, it's a fairly plain but very comfortable, very effective pistol grip. Moving forward to the trigger. Now, I wasn't expecting too much from this trigger given the price point, but I was really pleasantly surprised actually. There's a tiny little bit of creep on it, but you really have to look for it to find it, to be perfectly honest. And the 2-stage trigger is completely adjustable as well. Now, out of the box, as I often do in actual fact, I found it set up fine for me. A very, very clear transition between the first and the second stage, and the second stage with just a little bit more pressure lets off very predictably. It's one of those rifles that you know exactly when it's going to go off, there's no surprises with it. The safety catch is a button within the trigger. Yeah, you know I'm not a huge fan of that, but lots of manufacturers do that and they know better than I. But push through from the left to the right, the rifle is safe, and then push from the right through to the left, the rifle is live. Now, you don't get a huge amount of forestock here. You're probably going to end up sort of putting your lead hand on the cylinder here, but you do get a Picatinny rail for you to put a bipod or a torch or sling or something like that on it, and there is a hole in the back here for you to attach a sling at the back. The air cylinder is 196 cc's, and yeah, quite a long cylinder, quite exposed because of this minimalistic fore end. Now, this is a 30 foot-pound 2.2 rifle. This is the US rifle basically, and I've been getting around about 50 or 60 shots from that because again this rifle is regulated. I would expect the 12 foot-pound UK spec rifle, if it has the same cylinder, and I believe it will, to give you sort of 140, 150 shots. I guess we'll have to wait and see. At the front you have this rubber boot that pulls off to expose the fill valve up here. It takes a standard snap-on Foster fit, and on the side here you can see that there's a pressure gauge which gives you a sense of the overall pressure left in the rifle. There's no separate gauge for the regulator. Now, the gauge on this rifle, being a US spec rifle, is in PSI, but having spoken to Macavity Air Rifles or Macavity Arms, they tell me that the UK rifle will ship with a pressure gauge in bar, which is handy. And then the rifle comes with this silencer. It's actually quite a nice looking silencer actually, and it screws onto a standard UNF thread and slides over the muzzle a little bit as well, and does a very good job of hushing down the muzzle report. The action is side lever, and the side lever is very good quality. There's a nice bit of resistance to it, so it's not all sort of floppy and vague. It pops out to a first stage, then you pull it back a second stage to cock the rifle, and then obviously push it forward again. And the magazine, there's a Picatinny rail up here to take a scope, and it's not the longest Picatinny rail in the world, although to be fair, you know, it fits every single scope that I've got to put on it. And the magazine does sit a little bit proud of the mounting rail up here, but not a huge amount. And there's even a little bit more gap on this one, so I could probably get this a little bit lower to the barrel if I had a slightly lower set of mounts. Now, the magazine, you get 3 magazines, and they take 13 shots in 177, 11 in 22, 10 in 25, and 8 in 30 caliber. And we'll show you the whole magazine loading process in a minute or two, but they're actually very good quality magazines. Quite impressed with those as well. So I think those are the main features on the MA2. What we'll do now is we'll take a closer look at some of those, and then we'll also talk about the magazine and the air filling process. Now, filling the MA2 with air is very, very straightforward. As I said before, you have this little rubber boot on the front of the fill cap here, and it actually attaches reasonably firmly. And you simply pull that off, exposes the fill valve here, and then using the sort of fairly standard quick fit adapter, that just slots straight over the front of that valve, and then you fill the rifle. Now, Macavity Arms say that this has a recommended maximum fill of 250 bar. As I said before, UK versions of this rifle will ship with a pressure gauge reading in bar. Now, whether that changes for the UK market, I don't know. I suspect it probably won't, to be perfectly honest. 250 bar is pretty much industry standard now for mini rifles. So once you fill the rifle, obviously bleed off your airline, and then remove the airline and pop that cap back on again to stop any dirt ingress. Now, you get 3 magazines with the Macavity Arms MA2, and they're pretty good quality actually. They're all plastic, but they seem nice and solid. Now, the clear faceplate here is the back of the magazine, so that's what you're going to have facing you as you look down the rifle. And hopefully you can see just here there's an arrow that indicates that you need to rotate the inner drum anti-clockwise. Now, you don't need to rotate the magazine in advance. You don't need to preload it at all. It's just simply a case of taking a pellet, dropping it into the hole, and then rotating it round to the next hole and dropping another one in. You will want to just keep your finger behind the pellet as you drop it in, so it doesn't fall all the way through. And make sure you don't push the pellet too far through the magazine, because it will get fouled as you rotate the faceplate. So just keep dropping those in. Right, so this takes, as a 2.2, this takes 11 pellets. The 177 takes 13. The 2.5 takes 10. And the 30 caliber takes 8 shots. So once you've put the final pellet in, and the magazine is fully loaded, we'll show you how to insert it into the breech. The magazine is both removed and inserted into the breech from the left-hand side of the action here. So first thing to do is put that safety catch on, pull back the side lever as far as it will go and leave it open, and then the magazine simply pushes out. Now, I've obviously taken all the pellets out of this for safety reasons, but hopefully you can see there's a little slot there. Now, that needs to go around this part here, obviously the end of the barrel. So once you've loaded with pellets, that faceplate, that clear faceplate facing back towards you, just put it in the breech, push it in as far as it will go, and then return the side lever. So that's a quick rundown on the Macavity Arms MA2. Next stage is to take it down to Reading Air Target Shooting Club, put some pellets in it, and see how it shoots. Well, here I am back at Reading Air Target Shooting Club with the Macavity Arms MA2 to see how it shoots. Now, I put a target out at 40 metres, and it's pretty blustery and horrible today, to be perfectly honest, so we'll have to see how we get on. I'm using Daystate Sovereign pellets, 2.2 caliber, and they are 15.89 grains. So let's see how we get on. Drop the magazine. This side lever's really slick actually, and the trigger's nice too. think that might have been the last shot. Let's just see. Yeah, last shot. So that's all 11 shots at 40 metres. The wind did blow me around a little bit, just to get my excuses in. But let's go and see how that got on. So, zoom in a little bit. That's 40 metres, a full magazine of 11 shots. And you can see that I need a little bit of adjustment high, but in terms of group, that's the turret cap off of the scope. And that, as you can hopefully see, that covers that very easily. So that's not too bad at all, and I'm sure with a bit more leading in and bedding in, that gap would improve, or that group would improve quite a bit. Well, there you have it. That's a quick rundown and test on the Macavity Arms MA2. As I said before, this is a pre-production prototype rifle and it's an FAC in the UK. But at around about £500, the 12 foot-pound rifle, when it does come into the UK this summer, should represent excellent value for money. Lots of adjustability, really nice slick side lever, 3 magazines, a silencer included as well, and a really good trigger. You know, there's lots to like about this rifle. Anyway, I hope you found it useful. If you did, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe as well. And also, check out our website, alphamilitaria.com, where you'll find lots of interesting airgunning topics and features. Thanks for watching.